Physics is about understanding everything. Here is your chance to understand everything about me. 2 months ago, October 31st, I became aware of some major personality changes. Too many changes of awareness and many other things to get into. At first I thought, maybe it's a brain tumor. That is an indication of how drastic the changes were. Everyone around me noticed the changes also. In the 2 months since that time, I have pieced together what happened. In a short sentence, in my quest to master something very difficult, I accidentally conditioned myself into this state of extreme logic. Because it was by accident, I now believe I conditioned myself to some weird extreme. I feel that, because I crave logic or I crave problems to solve, like it's an addiction. I have had no knowledge, or even slight background knowledge of physics until I came here 2 or 3 days ago. In fact, 2 days ago, when I joined this forum, it was simply to see if I could hang with the logic of the ideas of physics. I have been to some other forums in the same vein or quest to see the extent of this accidental conditioning. I am essentially trying to figure out how messed up I'm, quote, so to speak. So in 2 or 3 days, I am pretty certain I have a good grasp of the physics problem, understand everything, and I have a good grasp of the solution to the physics problem. You need way more logic-specific people, other words. This physics problem, understand everything solution to the physics problem, you need way more logic-specific people. I may be delusional in my beliefs about that, but I do not believe I'm delusional in my beliefs about that. It is a very logical understanding or conclusion. I would like to share with you the 2 forums I attended before I came to this one in my quest, or see how messed up I'm, as it were. The humor factor is off the scale as far as what I did to those forums. I will avoid telling you what the details were, because I try to avoid details for some reason, but it was interesting to say the least. Since I have only been like this for 2 months, I'm wondering what the next 2 months holds. That is an indication of how messed up I perhaps am, due to the accidental conditioning into this state of extreme logic, as I like to call it. Some of the comments initially on this forum about my comments, like make things understandable, things along those lines, are universal. The one I hear most often is, what kind of drugs are you on, cause I want some. I'm wondering how far I might go in the physics field, if I had even the slightest understanding of its details. Just keep in mind, this happened to me, quote, or I became aware of this state of extreme logic only 2 months ago. So I'm aware something is very abnormal. I will tell you one thing I sense about this physics problem. You're, quote, making it much harder than it is. You're focusing on meaningless details. Like what's the smallest particle? That will not solve understanding everything. It's a ton of work to get nowhere. Since there is one thing you have to understand, and everything else will fall into place. The problem is, there are so many things to focus on, and only one correct thing that needs to be focused on. That is what is causing the sense of confusion and vastness or complexity, or many branches breaking off from the main branch of physics. You will not figure out everything by trying to understand everything. You will figure out everything by understanding one principal thing. So your real goal is to put all your energy into finding out what that one principal thing is, and then solve it. It seems like, yes, we are trying to find that one principal thing by figuring everything out. No. You need some persons with extreme logic, like Einstein perceptive base, to do some thinking, and pay them well, and they will figure out that one principal thing, and save everyone much time and much money, because much time and much money is what you will need to try and figure everything out, in hopes you will somehow hit upon that one crucial key to understanding everything. What this means is, since you are aware of the problem, but your strategy to solve that problem is very poor. Your current strategy to solve this understand everything problem is take a shot in the dark and pray we hit on the one important principal thing. That's a very poor strategy, so you need some extreme logic people to help improve that strategy. Math and expensive tools are only needed to verify what is determined by logic theories. With extreme logic, there is no need to verify those theories. With extreme logic, those theories need no validation. With extreme logic, there is no need for math or expensive tools. You are not going to determine what that most important thing is that enables understanding everything. With math or with expensive tools, you will only determine what that most important thing is that enables understanding everything. With logic, period. Your assumption one can never reach such an extreme state of logic is a delusional belief. So everything you have determined based on that single delusional belief is in fact delusional. I hope you are now aware you have been chopping wood or wasting time for many years now. The person with extreme logic can take or see any problem to its logical conclusion. Then they can start over and use that logical conclusion as a starting point and take that to its logical conclusion. This can be repeated into infinity. What that means is there is no logical problem that is impossible to solve. And that means there is no logical problem that is not easy to solve. Physics is about understanding everything. Here is your chance.